So we now know 7 of the 8 playoff teams in the NBA, and we know 1 that won't be making it. We will start with the team that is in, the LA Lakers, coming off of their win over the New Orleans Pelicans. And the story in this game, as it is in almost every game that he plays, it is the greatness of LeBron James. What an unbelievable performance last night, helping the Lakers finish as the 7 seed in the Western Conference. He was spectacular in this game. And there are so many different ways you can go about it, but you could just see the difference when he was off the floor, that this team really struggled offensively. And then when he was going, it just, everything had a much better flow to it. He was a much better director out there, and he was dominant. He had control of everything when the Lakers were out there offensively. Now, it did start to get away from them a little bit with LeBron out there in the fourth when Zion was going just absolutely berserk, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But LeBron had control of this game for most of the time that he was out there, understanding when the double team was going to come, how New Orleans was going to attack him defensively. It was just his basketball IQ was on full display, and he's still physically strong enough to be able to get to the rim. He's drawing a lot of fouls now instead of finishing at the rim, but he is still so smart and just an incredible athlete to be able to get to where he needs to get to. I don't even know if shooting wise he had a great night or didn't feel like a great night. It was the control that he had over this one that was so impressive to me. And his other star, his co-superstar, Anthony Davis, I thought kind of fought it in this game, but he came up with a winning play when they needed it. LeBron has Daniels on him late. It's a 2-point game. He's trying to get to the rim, not going to, because Daniels, to his credit, very good defensively, forces him out wide. It's a tough jump shot that ends up coming up well short. I believe it was an air ball. And AD rises up over 2 players to get the offensive rebound, drawing a foul, hitting 2 free throws, and it was ball game from there. New Orleans just couldn't close that distance when they needed to. That was a winning play from Anthony Davis, and it's those types of plays that this team needs if they're going to be successful. It is like big moments. Who is going to step up? You know LeBron is going to. It wasn't an awesome shot, but AD is right there, right spot, right time. And I mentioned on the instant reaction show that we did, I didn't think that he played all that well in this game, and I didn't think he took advantage of what was, I think, a rather significant size mismatch. He was comfortable taking advantage of a speed mismatch against Valanciunas, but when he had Nance on him, or there would be a switch or whatever, I don't think he did enough to really punish when New Orleans was going small. But this was a time where he was able to take advantage of that size, get the rebound, put it in, or draw the foul anyway, and set this team up. But he is going to have to be, I think, significantly better for the Lakers going up against the Denver Nuggets. Los Angeles basically has to be perfect for 7 games, and even then it may not work. They got beat last time in 4 games. Now, they played well, but they got beat in 4 games, and I'll be interested to see how they attack it. One of the differences for LA this year, though, is the play of D'Angelo Russell. He was very good in the start of this game. Launching from 3, he was hitting quite a bit to start. I thought kind of cooled off in the middle part of the game, but he came up again. A huge steal late, and then another big 3 at points in this game that helped kind of, I don't want to say ice it away because it was close all the way to the end, but to really help build some momentum for the Lakers. And he has been a difference maker all season long. This team has been dying for someone to step up offensively. Reeves has been good. AD and LeBron have been them, but they've needed another guy to help get this team out of a slog sometimes when they're in the half court, and Russell has been that guy to give them just a bit of a spark on the offensive side. And if they're going to do anything against the Denver Nuggets, and to be honest, they probably won't do anything against the Denver Nuggets. But if they're going to do anything against the Denver Nuggets, it is going to have to be D'Angelo Russell balling out and having big games with Jamal Murray on him and making them kind of shift. It'll probably be KCP on it. Well, we'll see how they attack it. Either way, he's going to have some really big games. And with him and AD out there, when LeBron is on the bench, they're going to have to light things up and really take advantage of those minutes. It's going to be a gigantic uphill climb. And again, they probably won't do it. But I do think that this is the one thing that they have in their bag that they didn't really last year is this level of a D'Angelo Russell player. On the other side, the Zion Williamson injury just sucks. And now it sounds like he is going to be out for Friday's game against Sacramento. That probably does it for the Pelicans then. I mean, even still, like I was not, we'll talk about Sacramento in a second, but even if Zion was out, if BI was healthy, then you'd feel a little bit better about it. But Ingram, he just didn't click in this game, and they're going to need him to be a superstar coming up on Friday for them to have any hope against Sacramento. And this really sucks because this was the type of performance that we were all waiting for from Zion Williamson. Big stage, national spotlight, huge implications of potentially getting in as the 7th seed and not having to worry about a game on Friday night. And he was the one dragging this team. No, like Alvarado was playing well, but Zion was the one who was dragging him in. Just a quick commentary thing. I was getting a little frustrated, and not that Alvarado wasn't playing well, but this was like the Zion Williamson game. This is the best he has looked on the biggest stage, and he is getting anything he wants offensively, and then he goes up and throws down a vicious alley-oop. So we have like the makings of a new superstar in the NBA, and Reggie Miller's going, Alvarado! Like, yeah, he's been fine, but the story of that no one is going to work tomorrow talking about, man, just see how hard Alvarado played. It is all about Zion Williamson. And so I thought that they just kind of missed the moment there a little bit. But Zion was tremendous. I loved every aspect of his game. I thought he was so aggressive offensively. He had been absolutely shut down by LeBron in the regular season finale. And then to be able to come out and just get, like I said, get whatever he wanted was so impressive. Rebounding was great. Defensively, he was fine. But this was the game changer Zion Williamson that we were all waiting for. And if the season does end for New Orleans on Friday, they're going to have a big offseason coming up because I think you can now trust that you have a star in Zion Williamson. Now, you do have to worry about the health. Case in point. But I do think that you have to really look at this New Orleans team as one that can make some noise when Zion Williamson is good. We have now seen what they can do when Zion Williamson is motivated. We now see what a motivated Zion Williamson can do. And that play-in tournament, or the in-season tournament, the NBA Cup, does feel like a bit of a turning point for him, where they were playing well, and he goes out there and gets embarrassed by the Lakers, and everyone's calling him fat. And everyone is talking about him. And that was, I think, a wake-up call for this guy that I need to take it seriously. And I owe it to my teams to really go out there and, owe it to my teammate to go out there and really take this thing seriously. And he did. So now a full season of that. Watch out, NBA. Moving on to the 9-10 game as the Sacramento Kings move on. But again, I don't think a lot of people are talking about that. A lot of the talk today is about the Golden State Warriors. And quite simply, talked about it on the Instant Reaction show last night. They look cooked. They looked old. They looked slow. They looked oddly overwhelmed by the moment, extremely flustered by what the Sacramento Kings were throwing out there, and not able to pivot away from everything that Sacramento knew they were trying to do. I said last night, you didn't trust a soul out there other than Steph Curry for Golden State. Like, Moody would have been probably number 2 that you were trusting, given how they were playing. Draymond is Draymond offensively, like distributing, he's fine, but with the ball in his hand for more than 5 seconds, it's not great. Chris Paul, what you got from him was gravy, but I think they needed him to be Chris Paul from a few years ago. Klay Thompson was dreadful at 0 for 10. And I think cost himself significantly in free agency, and it does not make the job any easier for this front office in the offseason. With Klay Thompson as a free agent, what are they going to do? I have no idea how they are going to handle this. If you want to keep the band together, I think that Klay could come in and that rate is going to be significantly discounted. Or if he just wants to go out and get paid, and who can blame you? Because after last night, how many more big contracts does he have left? I would say none. But if you have a young team that is desperate to bring in a Klay Thompson and overpay him, it's going to be tough for him to say no to that. I do think that having a full offseason of kind of understanding his limitations, hopefully he can kind of honestly look at what happened this season and figure out where it all went wrong and kind of understand that he is now in a next chapter of his career. And now he has a full off season, I think, where that has really smacked him in the face, and he can come out and figure out a new way to contribute, because the old way isn't there anymore for this guy. It sucks, but it wasn't. It's a decade run for this team, but this, unless there are substantial changes made this offseason, I think that's it. And the end is probably the Draymond Green punch, although it's going to be tough to convince people after watching Jordan Poole for a season do whatever he wants in Washington that that guy would have been the key to unlocking things in Golden State. But yeah, it's done. It's over for this group. It really is. On the Sacramento side, that was a hell of a performance. Keegan Murray, a lot of people talk about Sabonis and Fox as the key guys for Sacramento. The way Murray was playing last night, it is just their own kind of big three. Like, it is a small version of the big three, but it's their top three instead of just the top two now. That was so great, and he fed off of that home crowd that might be one of the better home crowds in the NBA, and them able to at least hold on to the 9 seed was really important for them because they fed off of that home crowd all night. He was great, and Ellis was a tone setter. He was a dog in everything they needed to do in blitzing Steph Curry and giving him all sorts of problems. I'll be interested to see how they handle it. They are at a significant size disadvantage. They bullied Golden State last night, 15 offensive rebounds. They just took their lunch money all game long and really beat them up. But they're not going to be able to do that against JV and Ingram. Maybe against the smaller unit with Nance, but when they go small, that's the bench unit. And that was the only way Golden State stayed in this game, was when Sacramento's bench came in. We'll see how Sacramento's able to adjust, but they have 5 guys you trust. And that's it, because of the injuries to Monk and Herter, which sucks. But they have 5 guys that you trust, and that's basically it. So I don't love their chances going into the 8th place game coming up on Friday, but we'll see. We'll see. If another hot shooting performance like that, and they're going to be tough to stop.